Big Chosen, we're reporting live. We starting off with something that's trending and something that's catching the media by storm. Famous comedian Corey Holcomb, right? It started off with the Anton Daniels situation when Anton came on the show, 5150, and they had a disagreement and a war of words, we should call it. And it went left. It went left, but at the same time, I was impressed that it didn't actually go where it could have went. You know what I mean? To where violence could have potentially happened. I was impressed by the maturity that they was able to show by walking away. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's what happened on that. And then you follow up. A couple days later, we got an incident that came out where they reported, TMZ falsely, potentially reported, allegedly, that Corey Holcomb put his hands on a lady, right? Another comedian, right? Outside the comedy club. I don't know exactly which day this happened, but this is wild, right? And these type of allegations could really destroy somebody's career. These type of allegations could really label you a woman abuser or whatever. And nobody wants to be looked at that, especially as a man, a black man in America. Nobody wants to be looked at as a man who can't control his anger and is going to put his hands on a woman, right? Now, the video, once I strongly looked at the video, intensely studied the film and the little grainy video from the comedy club, what I noticed was he approached, allegedly, the little clip that they showed, because they didn't show. I heard that they was out there for hours or whatever, or this went on for a long time, but yet they only got a minute clip, right? Strategically, that's what I call that. That's a strategic minute clip to paint the picture that they want to paint, the narrative that they want to paint. But in that minute clip that's out here going viral, that's potentially trying to cancel Corey Holcomb, it don't look good. And it looks like potentially Corey could have walked away, you know what I mean? Opposed to stepping towards the lady and putting his hand over her face, right? So they got it all, and that's another thing, they got it all over the place that he punched her or hit her. Even though we know as a man you should walk away in these situations, regardless of what it is, man on man, woman on man, whatever. If we can avoid these situations, we walk away, right? So that's one thing. But the number two thing is how they portrayed it as a punch or a hit and all this and that. One really, it looked like he just put his hand over her face, which is not a good thing either. But at the same time, a lesson is to be learned here, fellas. The reports are coming out that she was there with her boyfriend at the time. Come on, fellas. You can't be sitting by as your woman is antagonizing another man. Because at that point, regardless of what Corey did in this situation, he's antagonizing the man that was supposed to stop her to do something at this point. Because it's like, if you're not going to control her, I might got to control her because you're not controlling her. Now, mind you, I said he should have walked away, right? That's first and foremost, walk away. But secondly, if you're there with a woman, you should be able to calm her down. And if you're not able to calm her down, you should be trying to get her to walk away, or you should be walking away. Don't just stand there as she's antagonizing a man. Even if you got to get in front of the man yourself, get in front of her and get in front of the man yourself and be like, hey, man, let me holler at you, man. Let's go around the corner or let's talk, man, because she's not stopping. So let me walk you away from this situation, man to man. I'm not about to allow you to just be standing right in front of this woman that I'm dating or talking to at the time in a quote-unquote relationship with, and I'm just sitting idly by while she ripping you to shreds with her words and basically rage baiting you into putting your hands on her or worse. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a lesson to be learned, fellas. We need to be able to calm our woman down or understand that that's not our woman. That's not the woman you want, somebody who's going to even put you in that type of situation, right? It's hard enough as a black man, as a man in general in this world, to have a woman that's going to antagonize and aggressively approach these situations that's going to amplify it for the worse. You know what I mean? We need women that's going to be our peace, women that's going to listen, not so quick to just go off at the tongue, right? We need women who can sit behind a man or sit beside a man, not feel like they got to stand out front, right? So that's a valuable lesson there. So there's a narrative that Corey Holcomb is being targeted, okay, by all the different comedians gathering together against him that didn't like his success or whatever he had going with his YouTube channel. You got old clips resurfacing. You got comedy versus the cancel culture. This is something that's really been going on. You got comedians scared to be comedians. You got them scared to really say what's on their mind, and that's never been the case. Comedians have always been able to express themselves, right? The key to a comedian, a good comedian, is somebody who's able to make you laugh at what they're going through and make you laugh at what you're going through. That's like the comedian one-on-one, right? What we're used to. Okay. The truth tellers versus the institutions. And that's one thing we like about Corey Holcomb. He's always been a truth teller. Somebody who's going to tell the truth and shame the devil. Somebody who's going to speak, you know what I mean, against the powers that be. Somebody who's going to speak his truth. Somebody who's going to not care about the ramifications when it comes to who it might offend or, you know what I mean? Like, that's always been his thing. And ultimately, we need people like that in the community because there's too many people, especially in this cancel culture and this the truth tellers versus the institutions society we living in right now, to where people are scared to really speak their truth, especially as comedians, right? And that's what, you know, we're supposed to be able to have free speech in America. Okay? Okay, speaking of free speech versus accountability. Yes, you want to be able to, you definitely have the ability to speak freely in America, but you also got to understand that what comes with it. Once you get to speaking so freely and telling your truth, you got people that don't like you. You got people sitting back waiting on your downfall because you just spoke too much truth. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like all they can do is gather together against you and hope that, you know, we can figure out a way to take you down. So that's why it's a thin line between telling the truth and actually and catering to the world and making everybody feel good. That's why it's almost best to just treat people the way you want to be treated. That's the best rule, because ultimately nobody wants slander. Nobody wants people to out them or expose them, or, you know what I mean? Let them speak their own truth ultimately. Who gives you the right to speak your truth about someone else? Focus on you. Focus on what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? I understand that eventually you're going to run out of truths. You say so much. And that's one thing about Corey. Corey is definitely known for speaking on himself as well. He just said a lot, right? And guess what? They using that against him as well to this day. Sometimes when you speak your truth against yourself, they'll turn around and use it against you too. So you got to understand a lot of things don't need to be said. And I'm going to end this with this. Every generation has a comedian they try to silence. Every generation. Okay? right, now we moving over to how the assault allegations against Corey Holcomb has the public reacting in disarray. You got the social media audience being split. You get what I'm trying to say? People don't know whether to root for him or root against him. You got accountability versus the weaponized narratives. People are trying to weaponize these narratives against someone who's refusing to hold themselves accountable. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a compound of damage that's going on. You're not holding yourself accountable, and people are spinning and painting all type of narratives against you, using your truths against you, and all type of stuff, and using false headlines and clickbait titles against you. Okay? Selective outrage culture. You got selective outrage culture. Hold on one second. We are living in a world to where a lot of people are selecting their outrage. Like, in this culture, we pick and choose what we mad at. Like, we don't get mad at the ladies or the boyfriend, you know what I mean, in this scenario, for not being able to control themselves. But when Corey approaches in a way and tries to handle it his way, we paint all that aggression towards this person. So that's kind of what I mean by the selective outrage. You know what I mean? But like I said before, there's plenty of ways that we can handle these situations that can avoid everything, right? Moral of the story. So where's the line between justice and destruction? We have to draw a line somewhere amongst our people. The Corey Holcomb versus the Anton Daniels beef. There was an intellectual warfare. That's what I like to call it. It was an intellectual warfare going on, okay? Masculinity narratives, talking about you kissing the white man's butt and you sucking the black man off and all this and that, all these different masculinity terms that's trying to tear down a man's masculinity. That's a no-no. We should be able to have these debates, worldly debates, without tearing each other apart and hitting for the jugular. Because these are all fighting words and things of that nature in our community. We can't be approaching each other with such vigor. We can't be approaching each other with such animosity when we don't even really know each other. We don't know what nobody's capable of, who knows who, what we've been through individually. So we have to approach everybody with love. Once again, treat people the way you want to be treated, right? It was a lot of money talk. Oh, I got money. I got money to bill myself. I got lawyer money and all this and that. Nobody wants to spend thousands of dollars on a lawyer when you don't need to. So let's stop. Let's stop throwing our money in these conversations too, because you can be up, you can be down. Like what Corey's going through right now, he has to literally cancel shows based off these allegations that's coming out against him on that video. So it's like money can go, money can come. What are we doing with the money? And I just recently heard Corey said not too long ago, he said he ain't never got to worry about his shows not being able to do shows. So it's almost like he was basically saying he don't even manage money correctly. He always assumes that these allegations that's going on right now would never happen to him. He never assumed to have to cancel shows. He thought this was going to be something that just kept going because he know he could tell these jokes like the back of his head. So, fellas, we always got to understand, first off, stop talking about your money. Be about your money. Know where your money going, right? You should be having your money in investments. You shouldn't even just be sitting on money anyway. Your money should be working for you at all times. Okay? Black media power dynamics. It's always seeming like somebody's trying to kick somebody out in order to take their spot. Like we can't all prosper together. It's enough room on these YouTube streets or in the world in general, as a intellectual black man, as a intellectual property, we can do this. We don't need to tear each other down. We can do this together. We stronger together. We can join each other platforms. We can have conversations together. I could bring my fans to you. You could bring your fans to me. We all eat. That's how it's supposed to be. But yet, we like to tear each other down. And if you ask me, the powers that be are sending bots our way in the comments, in the chat, to tear each other down, to spin narratives in the chat and make you think one way. So always be conscious of that, brothers. There's always somebody working to try to conspire against us and tear us down and make us not like each other. I'm telling you. Who controls the narrative? Once again, it goes back to what I'm trying to explain. The powers that be is controlling the narrative. They are spending dollars on these bots, if you let me tell it. And programming the bots to say what they want to say. And we looking at these chats and looking at these live chats and reading the comments, and they're painting narratives of how we should move. Don't get distracted. Don't ever allow nobody to tear a wedge between you and your brother. Understand that love is the strongest thing we could ever do. Success is the best way to defeat any enemy. Be successful. Don't try to come at people with aggression and anger. Okay? Love and success conquers all. Okay, here's something I want to lead that off on. This whole topic, we're going to wrap that topic up with this. 2 different ideologies clashing in public equals culture spectacle. That's what they equal. Every time when people are clashing with 2 different ideologies in public, culture spectacle. It's going to really cause something for the whole culture to speculate against and run amok. We don't want the culture to run amok. We want to feed the culture fruit. We don't want to feed the culture poison. Okay? Moving on a lighter note. This is like my guilty pleasure right here. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if I'm the only one, but it seems like Blueface and Finesse 2 Times are taking over the internet. When it comes to the Twitch world and YouTube, it's chaotic plus entertainment. Like, I can't explain it, right? The energy is just, it's attracting everybody to this, right? Must watch Twitch channels. You got to tap in to see what I'm talking about. It's on the ignorant side, right? It's on the, it's not the most conscious entertainment, but it's entertainment nonetheless, right? Is streaming replacing TV? Is that what's really going on? Is people more interested in watching these streamers than watching the television? I tell you one thing. Only thing I don't like about the certain Twitch channels is the people that has commercials and ads on their channel. Because those ads, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I do not like sitting through all them ads, man. Like, it's like it forces you to subscribe, because that's really what it's about. I'm just basically letting you know I haven't subscribed to anybody's channel yet, right? But unlike YouTube, where it's free to subscribe, on Twitch, you have to literally pay to be a subscriber, right? So that's that. But channels like Blueface and Finesse 2 Times, if I'm not mistaken, they're on the uprise right now. So they haven't added the AdSense on their channels yet. So it's even more live, because you get to watch their channel all the way through with no skips, no interruptions, without even being a subscriber, right? So check that out when you get a chance. Real-time chaos. Fans watching lives fall apart right before your eyes, right? We just literally watching it. Like, it's hard. It's like watching a train wreck. It's hard to turn away from that, okay? And I'm going to end this on this. We're not watching content anymore. We're literally watching people's lives, right? All right, we're moving on. I don't know if you guys seen that NBA game between the Hornets and the Dallas Mavericks. When I tell you, that was a fight right there. That was a war. They went to the very end. It's a mixture of hope plus the youth plus the future stars all in one game. You got LaMelo, you got Canuple, you got Cooper Flag. And those two guys, Canuple, I keep saying his name wrong, and Cooper Flag, they had a night to remember, right? I want to say Khan had 39 points. I want to say that was his career high. And Cooper Flag had 49 points. Only thing is, Khan was able to leave with the W. Meanwhile, Cooper Flag had to leave on a, you know what I mean? How do I say, anticlimactic exit, right? For him to leave, for him to lose with 49 points. That doesn't feel good. And you wanted to have 50 points, don't you? You don't want, nobody wants 49. Get to 50. Same with Khan. I know he wanted 40. He didn't want that 39, but you know we round up anyway. So 50 and 40. All right. Two players had career high points. Final second finish. It literally went down to the wire to where Cooper Flag fouls Khan and he drills the free throws to end the game. Hornets are pushing a 5-game win streak after that game. It's literally a new era energy going on right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much going on. We don't know if LeBron's going to retire. We don't know. We trying to figure out who the next face of the NBA is going to be if he do decide to retire or when he eventually does decide. So it's just a lot going on. It was a lot of chaos and a lot of hope in that game. All right. So that was a lot to take from that game right there. Check it out. Check out the highlights when you get a chance. Moving on. Tomorrow night, we have Teofimo Lopez versus ShakurStevenson in a Saturday night fight night. All right? Saturday night fight. Anticipation meets legacy. Okay? We have a style clash. We have somebody like ShakurStevenson who's very defensive-minded, right? Meanwhile, you got Teofimo Lopez who's more on the aggressive side, who's trying to really go forward towards his opponent, right? We have a culture fight, right? We got, I want to say Teofimo Lopez is Italian or Spanish descent. Meanwhile, we got ShakurStevenson, who's a black man, right? So there's your style, your culture fight, right? Your culture clash right there. We got a lot of people that's going to be flying in from different countries, and we got a lot of people that's going to be from our community, our culture, who's going to be coming out to support and buying pay-per-views to support Shakur and hoping that he wins and pull this off. We got skill versus power. We got ShakurStevenson, who's more of the skilled fighter. You know what I mean? Everybody say he has everything. He done practiced and studied underneath the likes of what's my man's name who just retired? Dang, it's on the tip of my tongue. Our boy, man. That's our boy too. But he studied under the lights of the greats, man. I can't think of it. He just fought out the country against Can't think of his name. Hold on 1 second. This is really bothering me. I had this brain fart. I normally don't have brain farts like this. There you go. Terrence Crawford. There we go. ShakurStevenson has studied under the greats such as Terrence Crawford, right? And Terrence Crawford has recently announced his retirement. So that basically lets me know he's taking a step back and putting a lot of his energy behind people, the likes of ShakurStevenson now. So Shakur is more of the skill fighter, and Teofimo Lopez is more of this power fighter, right? He's trying to knock your head off, right? So we are witnessing a boxing renaissance moment right here. Must see TV. You got to check it out if you can. Is boxing finally back in the culture? That's my question to you. Is boxing finally back? Write that in the comments if you think so. If not, write that too. All right, we're moving on to something a little emotional for a lot of people, right? We're about to move on to a more emotional topic. NBA season. Is this LeBron James' final NBA season? Write in the comments if you think this is LeBron James' final NBA season. This is an emotional legacy potentially coming to an end. I know you seen that the other night when he played against the Cavs at home. On the road in the Cavs stadium. Arena, and they played that tribute video to him. He got very emotional. And then went out there and shot horribly. What was that, like 11 for 30? 11 points off 3 for 13 or something like that. Yeah, he shot horrible. But moral of the story, is LeBron avoiding a farewell tour? Write in the comments if you think he's avoiding it. If you think he's just going to randomly just decide to just walk away from the game. I want to hear your point of view on that. Do you think the bashing and all the hate train that's been going towards LeBron has finally caught up to him and he's just had enough? Do you think he feels like you guys don't even deserve to know when his time is up? Do you really feel like he's got to that point? Okay. Do you think he doesn't feel like he will get the Kobe treatment? Do you think if he announces that this is towards the end that he will receive more backlash? Do you think he wants us to feel like you should appreciate me every game? I don't want to give you a heads up. I want you to have to appreciate me every game, right? Quiet exit versus legendary goodbye, right? How do we say goodbye to somebody who's given us so much great play through all these years, man? You know how many people out here that love the game of basketball who's not even 23 years of age, and he's been in the league playing at a high level for 23 years? Is that really registering with a lot of you guys? Do you really understand that this could be the end? Every game is must-see TV with LeBron. Is this just another way of controlling the GOAT narrative? I want to hear you guys' opinion on this. I want to know if you guys think this is another way for him to push himself into the GOAT narrative by the way that he leaves the game. Does the greatest player ever want silence instead of celebration? That's how I'm in that. I want y'all to write that in the comments. Does the greatest player potentially ever want silence instead of a celebration? All right, moving on. Which NBA team have the assets to trade for Giannis? What do you guys think? We're getting towards the end, guys. Which NBA team do you think have the assets to trade for Giannis? This is really chessboard politics right here. This is where the NBA really meets the politicians of the world and how all the backdoor activity and stuff that they be trying to get you to not partake in. The things that got Magic Johnson let go from the Lakers. You know what I mean? They don't want you to do too much behind the scenes. Right? It's a case of the asset wars. People are really moving their chess pieces up and moving them back and seeing who they can get rid of to keep the best core. Because you don't want to get rid of too many people for Giannis. And then now you just stuck with Giannis. Now it's just another version of Milwaukee Bucks. No offense. Right? So you want to give as little as possible so that you can build a dynasty around Giannis when he gets there. Are we tired of the super team culture? Is that what's going on as well? Is the super team culture coming to an end, right? Where everybody feel like they got to create a big three and and multiple superstars on one team. Small markets versus the big markets. Are superstars tired of playing in the small markets? Is it not giving them enough notoriety? Are they not celebrated enough in these small towns? Like how they would be celebrated in a bigger environment, bigger culture, bigger market, right? The business of basketball. This is how the business of basketball goes. It really can go to where it's like, it's really a toss-up, right? You don't know who's staying, who's going every season. Trade deadlines come every year. You don't know who, nobody's safe. Everybody's like this. Nobody can really, only the certain few with trade restrictions and things of that nature feel comfortable. And even them, they still a little shaky, right? Because that's just what it is, man. The business of basketball is cold-blooded, it's ruthless. You got your own teammates side-eyeing you, right? Talking behind your back, get rid of him, right? Business of basketball is dangerous. That's why somebody like a LeBron has always taken the game into his own hands, which has also made him unliked, right? Similar kind of to the Corey Holcomb situation. This guy has painted his own narrative, and a lot of people, and spoke his truth, and a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people conjure back, and how can we get rid of this guy? How can we tarnish his name? How can we paint the narrative that he's not the GOAT, right? Okay, I want you guys to debate in the comments about what do you guys think about Giannis? What do you guys think his next destination is going to be? Who do you think, which team you think has the most assets and the best trade situation for the Bucks to make it worth their while? All right, moving on. Dr. Umar and Nick Cannon relationship conversation. I don't know if you checked out Nick Cannon's podcast that he has. Ooh-wee, it's pretty dynamic, man. I basically binge watched multiple of them, but definitely check out the one with Dr. Umar. It was powerful, you hear me? It was deep, it was viral, and it was controversial, all in one, okay? Has a lot of masculinity in it, which we are drawn to, us alphas, you know, as true men of the core. We are drawn to other masculine conversation and dynamics, right? We want to hear it, right? They touched on the family structure. They touched on how we supposed to live and how we're supposed to their opinions on it, at least. Everybody has they both had their own different outlooks on how they think marriage should be, right? Which is interesting to see. How they think relationships should be in general, right? Modern relationships. They spoke on modern relationships, how it is nowadays versus how it should be, right? And how we need to basically live our own life without letting too much distraction dictate how our relationship goes, right? Us as men, we are in control, and we're the leaders, I should say, of how a lot of this stuff goes, right? They spoke on the trauma cycles, how we allow traumas to dictate how we raise our families and how we choose our wives and how we choose our women, our significant others, and vice versa, how women choose their husbands and their partners, and how they raise their children due to how they was raised, due to the trauma that they was bestowed with, right? That was bestowed on them, and how all these trauma bonding situations are continuing, right? Trauma bonding relationships, and how our parents might have been in a trauma bond and now we do the same, right? They spoke on cultural psychology, right? The psyche of the culture, how we conduct ourselves, the decisions that we make, the reasons why we make the decisions, where it comes from. It was like a great therapy session. It was deep. Moral of the story, this wasn't entertainment. This was therapy for the culture, right? So if you check that out, leave it in the comments what you thought about it, man, when you check out that interview. All right, we got a couple more for y'all. Battle rap crisis, OMG. I don't know if you guys hip, but my guy Eazy the Block Captain YouTube channel was recently hacked. They had a random white guy, Caucasian guy, talking about Bitcoin on his channel. I never seen that. I never seen Eazy talk about Bitcoin. That's not his lane. So it was just interesting to see how overnight they said apparently Eazy the Block Captain clicked a link, and once he clicked that link, somebody was able to take over his channel. So moral of the story, we can't be so quick to look for opportunities in the wrong things. I was always taught that what seems too good to be true normally is. Okay, so we gotta really vex these things properly. Vex these channels properly. Vex these emails. Vex these links. Don't just be so quick to click on things, because like they say, in 2026, it's so much different stuff to have to look out for. Everything isn't so black and white, right? You have to be able to make sure things are good, because they'll get your account number. They'll be able to hack and see your bank account number. They'll do whatever. So you can't just be so quick to just click links and stuff. Like, that's just how I'm in that on that. Like, that literally shocked us. We lost the whole channel for the culture. That channel had all type of battles and events and comedy, and it's deep, right? Platform control. Learn how to control your platform. Learn what not to do to jeopardize it. When it comes to, you don't want to get strikes on your channel. You don't want to do none of this stuff. So you should look into all this stuff. Make sure you research properly on how to manage and maintain your channel, right? And grow it the proper way. Digital ownership. Make sure you research how to own your digital IP, right? Your intellectual property. Make sure you research all these things where you know exactly what you're doing. You don't never want to get to a certain point then lose it, or because you basically been winging it or trying to freestyle it, right? No pun intended. So, algorithm power. Eazy the Block Captain called himself the algorithm, but he don't have his channel, and that takes a lot of power away, man. When you don't have nowhere to really show off your algorithm, you don't have nowhere to really display your power at, your talent, and showcase the people that you got on your team. He had a whole team he was building, and he had tryouts going on and all type of stuff for his new Trenches battle league. Okay, we got a whole nother thing going on. We got black creators being erased. That's a theme of kind of what's going on, right? If you don't notice today's video. Black creators are being erased. They're using stuff like, I don't even want to speak on it, but they're using things such as bullying and cyberbullying and things of that nature to and flagging people's channels. And so it's so much stuff going on, crabs in a barrel mentality that's going on in our culture. And once again, like I said before, we can all rise together. We don't have to use these tactics, you know what I mean, these destructive tactics and these 40 laws of power tactics to really to try to get one up on each other. We need to be using love tactics and successful tactics. That's, you don't have to ever worry about karma coming back to haunt you, right? All you did was put out love. All you did was put out success. Why would anybody ever have anything against you, right? So, media suppression narratives. Like I said before, the media is not ours, right? So what I would recommend is, not only do you have a YouTube channel, but you have every channel. Get yourself everywhere, and build you a fan base, a loyal, not necessarily a fan base, build you a supporter base a loyal group of supporters, you know what I mean, a following that will look your name up if anything ever happened to you. They'll go in other sources and find you there. You get what I'm trying to say? Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. We don't want to give all our power to one source for them to easily just wipe us away and then that's all we had. Because there's a lot of people who's just monetizing off their YouTube channel or whatever. You got to spread your wealth. Because if you don't spread your wealth and something was to happen, now what? Almost similar to the Corey Holcomb situation, to where they're trying to cancel him, what I said earlier, and now he has to cancel his shows, and now what? You get what I'm trying to say? We can't be just doing that to ourselves, boxing ourselves in. That's what that's called. Okay? If they control the platform, they control your voice. Right? If they control the platform, they control the voice. So understand that. It's a lot of agreements we have to sign before we start any of these pages, any of these sites, any of these platforms. We have to sign agreements. And did you read those agreements? So that's what it all comes down to. You got to read what we're doing properly, right? Moving on. We're basically wrapping it up, but I'm going to give you guys something to think about on the end. You know, I like to give you guys some things to think about. The algorithm was shadow banning conversations Eazy the Block Captain. So I really honestly feel like there was a conspiracy and definitely a karma out to get him, right? Because he was silencing people who spoke on him and put him in a bad light. I'm not trying to put him in a bad light. I'm trying to uplift him because, like I said, that was one of my favorite channels to watch. It hurt me to see that he doesn't have control over his channel right now. Hopefully it doesn't be like this forever. Hopefully he gains it back. But it's a lot of people celebrating on his downfall right now. And that's sad to see. We got the Twitch versus the YouTube culture wars. Is Twitch more powerful than YouTube right now? Is YouTube more powerful than Twitch? Write in the comment below. What do you think? Do you think people conspired against Eazy the Block Captain to get his channel hacked? Do you think there was other YouTubers behind that email that sent that link that was sent to him? What do you think? Streaming is the new streets. I'm trying to tell you, a lot of people are trading in they bulletproof vests and buying a camera, okay? And he's sitting right in front of it. What do you think? Do you think the streaming is the new streets? Black creators are building independent media. Yes, they are. And they also conspiring against other black creators, and instead of us all working together like we should. It's a lot of examples that we are. So I don't want to just highlight that we're just so divided, because it's a lot of us that are gathering together and working together and teaming up, but it's so many different cases that's showing me that they're not, right? And that's not good. You write below if you think there could be more, or if you think, or if you agree that it's a lot of us tearing each other down, when it's a lot of us, but it could be way more, right? The collapse of celebrity privacy. Do you think it's lucrative to be a celebrity nowadays? Do you think it's peaceful on the soul to be a celebrity nowadays? I want you to comment that in the chat. Do you think celebrities are at an all-time low when it comes to having privacy? Okay? AI deepfakes plus deepfakes in black media spaces. Okay, it's a lot of AI stuff going on too, man. It can be used to help, but we don't want to use it to hurt. I'll tell you that now. We don't want to use that to tear down each other. I don't like how they using AI to make Kobe curse and do all that slander and slam the basketball and all this and that. A couple videos made me laugh, but besides that, it's disgusting, right? He should be able to rest in peace. R.I.P. to Kobe. He should be able to rest, his soul should be able to rest in peace. People shouldn't be able to use his intellectual property and toy with it and get likes and comments and monetize off of that, right? All right, we're gonna end it with this, and then I got a couple questions for you guys. This is the theme for today. Who controls the culture? The people, the platforms, or the power structures? Right below in the comments. Who controls the culture? The people, the platforms, or the power structures? Okay, I got a couple more questions for y'all. 6 questions to be exact, and we're out. Are they really trying to silence Corey Holcomb? Right below if you think so. The powers that be, that is. Is LeBron planning a silent exit? Comment below if you think so or not. Who should trade Giannis, right? Who should trade for him? Which team you think he'd be a better fit for? And going back to that LeBron question, do you think he don't want a farewell tour? Do you think he did enough? Do you think he thinks we're not deserving of it? Because there's been so many people bashing him and speaking down on his name and not speaking highly of him to be this productive in year 23, right? Do you think we took him for granted? Okay, going back to the Giannis question. Who should trade for him? Which team do you think deserves a Giannis? Which team do you think has the pieces that will go with him the best? You know, he doesn't really shoot well from beyond the arc or mid-range or free throws, that is, right? So he needs a lot of those type of people. He needs to go to a Golden State-esque type of team, a team that's surrounded with shooters and things like that. Even though I'm tired of Golden State getting good pieces. They've been good. They all right. They got what they got, 3-4 championships. They all right. Is Twitch replacing TV? I want you to write that below. Is YouTube and Twitch and scrolling on social media, is that replacing your television? I want you to write that below. Is black culture being censored digitally? Do they have too much control over our culture, over our media, over the things that we're monetizing and making a living off of? Do they have too much control, the powers that be? Write that below. And it's the final question right here. Was Dr. Umar right, or was he reaching in that conversation that I told you to go check out with Nick Cannon on his podcast? Check that out and let me know below. Was Dr. Umar right, or was he reaching? All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys. We had a great video today. Like, share, subscribe, hype up the video, and I'm out.